For more on this, let's bring in Vladimir Golstein. He's the chair of the Department of Slavic Studies at Brown University. Vladimir, Putin says he's stepping up security measures in the country following this attack. Dasha talked a little bit about that, but what do you expect to see?
Well, Russians will get very much united at this moment because, we know that the war with Ukraine, kind of split society. Some are very kind of, supportive even of President and his policy, but some were hesitant. Now I think this attack will be eventually kind of connected to Russia's what they view as a proxy war with the West and with concrete war with Ukraine. So Russians will probably be much more kind of united, and they will demand from the government, like we know in the situations like that, some kind of strong measures. Putin is known not to rush despite the rhetoric, so he might promise something, but I am sure that there will be, more military build-up and more kind of actions. I don't think Russians as a public and as a government will settle on these 4 individuals who are arrested, and they will settle that this is just a random act of some kind of ISIS cell. They view it as a continuation of war against them, and they will try to see who ordered this hit, not necessarily ISIS. Some, Russians believe it's Ukraine. Some Russians believe it's, Western Europe, England, America. They don't have a proof. But what is important is what the country strongly believe in, and they find these explanations plausible. They don't settle on the fact that 4, poor migrants from Tajikistan, very uneducated, very kind of unprepared, all of a sudden pulled such a massive attack. So it remains to be seen, but I think we'll hear more militarism. Some people are afraid more mobilization, but it will be like, eventually a harsh response.
Vladimir, to your point, ISIS-K has claimed responsibility for the attack. Russia is calling it a terrorist attack, but so far has not commented on ISIL's claim of responsibility. But they did carry out a suicide attack against the embassy in Kabul in Afghanistan, where they killed a couple of staffers. Can you talk to us about the fact that this came as such a surprise? I talked to a man in Moscow earlier today who said, following the attack in 2004 in Moscow, bags are checked, and whenever you go into like a concert facility, he was just astonished that these guys could get in and carry out this attack. It does come as quite a bit of a surprise, doesn't it?
It does come as a surprise, but knowing Russians, they tend to be a little bit kind of relaxed. And we remember there was a certain moment, like some again naive people from Central Asia. They were boarded on board of the plane. I think I forgot it was going to Egypt or something with explosive. So it's kind of easy. And apparently the way I think it was in Moscow and Domodedovo, they paid some bribe. So Russians are not particularly kind of wealthy, so it's easy to buy people. So of course they all hope. And there are honest, I'm not saying that everybody there is corrupt, but, the record shows it's easy to buy people, easy to get access. But of course, it's not only easy to buy the guards, but easy to buy executioners. And who is behind people who hired these 4 gunmen? That's what Russians will try to establish. But unfortunately, you cannot, have a very tight security. I remember going on subway. Yeah, there are policemen. They're supposed to look at you, but they very frequently ignore. So, I hope they will tighten this one up. But it's not bulletproof.
Vladimir, thanks so much for joining us on a weekend. Certainly appreciate it.